welcome back to Amigas al Aire. We have our amiga Holly Mata filling in today, and we're talking about, give them a little flex, Holly, and show them. We're talking about exercising over 40, staying fit over 40, and why it matters, and how it changes. And we have a doctors here also who are going to give us a little bit of expertise in what you guys see and what women should be doing once we hit the age of 40, because the way we exercise changes, does it not?
For sure. I would say it goes from far more cardio to a lot more weightlifting. But I know that a lot of younger people do a lot of weightlifting in general. Women especially.
Women, you were opposed to weightlifting.
I loved cardio up one day, weighing down the other, but the weightlifting is where it's at.
Right. And what's your experience, or what do you tell women? Obviously, not everyone's going to compete. Holly's super athlete. But the way you talk to women and everyone.
Yeah. I think a lot of people, I think the younger people don't know what we know now. Now that we're 40, we understand like it's all about longevity, and we're trying to just put on more years to our life. So it is super important to have the most amount of muscle you possibly can. So it's relative to everybody. And I always tell the women, because not everyone's like me, and I might be the very far extreme version of them, but we're all the same. Like, we all should be lifting as heavy as you can lift. You're going to lift different than what I'm going to lift. But to be able to protect our bones and just, again, increase longevity is just to have the most amount of muscle that you can have. And it's harder as we age to maintain that muscle. So it's far more important to lift and do any kind of resistance training versus cardio.
Absolutely. And Marilena, you were a long distance runner for years.
I passed 40 long time ago to start with. But yes. I mean, back in the days when I was in my 20s, not many women run, and I run the New York Marathon when I was 20-something back in 1989. And yes, I did cardio for a long time, but it does make your skin sag. If you look at the runners, the marathon runners, they don't have abs. It's just like very lean but saggy skin, no muscle. So yes, it's very important to do resistance and weight training, not just because of the way you look, also, increase your endorphin and also your growth hormone, so improve, muscle and bone health.
Talk about the correlation with metabolism. The more muscle you have, isn't it confirmed?
So the more muscle you have, you burn more calories at rest. That's called the basal metabolic rate. And so the higher your basal metabolic rate, the more you burn at rest. The workout extends beyond the actual physical 30 or 45 minutes that you're working out.
And the more muscle you carry, the higher metabolic rate is. So that's ideal to have the most amount of muscle, because then you're essentially burning the most calories that you can. So it's, and I think just even you guys know with medicine, like medicine's evolving, like so is like fitness and strength and conditioning has evolved from when I played soccer versus even when I was a kid. I mean, things are changing. We're learning a lot more, and it's just different. It's the same. It's no different than medicine. Like, we're just learning so much. And I think now, even for the younger kids as well, like, it is important to lift weights. It's more important to lift weights than outside of sport. Like, if you're doing for performance, obviously that's different. You're performing. If you're a marathon runner, you're competing and you're competitive at that level. There's a difference in, your motivation. But to be just healthy and fit, definitely lifting weights, strength training.
Absolutely. You see it with every kind of sport. 20, 30 years ago, an athlete in whatever field used to not lift weights, and now they do, from tennis players to golfers. They're all doing some sort of strength training.
Yeah.
Because it does improve performance. For women as we age, if you're afraid of the weight room, let's say you've never worked out in your life, but you need to lift because you can feel yourself getting weaker, where should women start?
I mean, I obviously have a soft spot for CrossFit and like the high intensity type of workouts. And that's just because, it's a community, number one, and it's not intimidating. I think unless you get yourself there, the idea of it is very intimidating. But when you get there and the gym is so inviting, and it's such a community, and 99% of the people look like your everyday people that are walking outside. So it's nice to be a part of that community. It also helps you build that consistency and routine. Like, you look forward to going to the gym because you get to have a social environment there. But I prefer that type of training because as we age, I have 4 kids. It's hard to find time to do anything. So to be able to do something for 20, 30 minutes and get it done and get it quick and it incorporate all those things. It's just so much easier for women and for women that have jobs, that have lives and kids. So, I mean, I find that to be the easiest, but that's not the only thing that works. I mean, there's a lot of people that are self-motivated that can do that on their own. Some people enjoy sport. I mean, they're also, tennis and racquetball and pickleball and the whole paddle. That's a whole other thing. But those are very good things to also do as we age too. They say any kind of racket sport, actually, there's a direct correlation between life expectancy as well.
Really?
With racket sports, yeah. And so, I mean, those things will do.
The tennis.
I should. No, I'm pickleball. Yeah, I should. And there was a statistic. I don't know, one of you told me, maybe, I think it was you said the higher risk for women is that if they fall, you're not strong, like you don't have strong legs, a strong lower body, it's because you fall and you break a hip or you break something in your lower body.
That's
the part that causes
happens so
morbidity mortality.
so often. I mean, a fall is almost same than having a chronic disease or cancer. I mean,
It really immobilizes you for a long time.
and it put you in bed, no muscle, difficult to walk. Another fall is just like
Having muscle waste, and it's just really hard to bounce back from that.
Especially over 40, like right when, we're going through menopause and all those things. And women, you told me this. One of you told me, I think it was you, we were having a conversation. We have our biggest muscles in our legs, lower body. And so even, like you said, it doesn't have to be the extreme, but with dumbbells, doing body squats.
I mean, they even say that like carrying things, they call it farmers carries. Like just carrying weights is actually like like one of the best exercises you could do that will indicate again, like just future longevity and, health, and is literally carrying if you can carry your own body weight with the farmer's carry, kettlebells, dumbbells, whatever that is, that's also one of like a great, and these are all things that are just help you promote functional movement. It's like you were talking about when you travel, like just being able, when you're in Europe, you're walking, you're going upstairs, you're going downstairs, you're constantly moving. So like just to be able to feel strong in your movement is important.
We're walking about 7 to 8 miles a day because you walk so much. I mean, the U.S., most of our cities are built for cars, but everywhere in those European old cities where the streets are like this, everyone walks everywhere. But your strength, I said this to her, I texted her, I was like, I was able to squat over the bathroom without sitting because my legs are strong. If you're sitting on the toilet and I'm like, I don't have to sit. But I was so proud because I'm 52. I was so proud of myself. I'm like, it's because my legs are strong. A little fat around there. It's okay, Benity. But the functional part of being able to hold something or hold yourself up if you fall
and be able to get yourself up. And you see a lot of older people now going to the gym, which is, there's a 96-year-old man that goes to the gym, and just the fact that he's moving and he's lifting very little, but it's allowing him to walk from across the room into his car, which he's still driving. And, those are things he probably wouldn't do. Like you said, if he fell, broke a hip, and he wasn't as fit as he was at his age, it would just be a spiral, and his quality of life would be so much less. So my dad was 87 at the gym all the time. He had an amputated above the knee amputation. He took his prosthetic leg off, and he would lift as heavy as he could possibly lift. And honestly, I believe like he lived another 10 years just because of that.
It prolonged his life.
Yeah, exercise is one of the best medicine.
Yeah.
What do you notice with your patients? Because you both deal with weight loss, with aging, with women, with menopause. What do you notice?
With the weight loss, you'll just muscle waste and end up with a lot of saggy skin if you're not eating the protein and you're not doing any kind of weightlifting. So I heavily promote that just so that they can have, again, not only the look, but the function of having a healthy body. So it's not exactly the weight on the scale that matters. It's the whole being.
More so, would you say, after the age of 40?
For sure. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because the GLP-1s, if that's what we're using for weight loss, is going to handle the eating part, but only they can handle the weightlifting part.
Yeah.
The component of their health.
What about you, Maria Elena? What do you see?
Well, as you get older, you're more, like passive, meaning like you don't move that much. So people complain, well, I hit menopause and then I start gaining weight. It's no, like you're eating more because you say I eat less than what I used to eat. Yeah, but you're burning less calorie because you sit more, you're not walking. So it's an equation, you know.
That's right. It is. It's math. It's calories in and out. And if you're not moving and if you're not burning.
So it's, you know, for me as a physician can be frustrating sometimes to explain the patients. But, you know, eventually some of them, they listen. And if you put in a diet or some medication for weight loss and they realize they lose the weight, is because they're eating less and probably increasing their activity, physical activity, you know, it shows.
Yeah. What do you notice a difference between how your patients age from the ones that exercise to the ones that don't?
Yes, definitely. And I've been in practice for 24 years, so I've seen the patients like getting older, and the one that exercise definitely looks healthier and has less medical problem, take less medication. Of course, there's a matter of luck and genetic. So every now and then, you know, like even if you work out,
You drink a lot of water. I was kidding. Yeah, but for sure. It's all the lifestyle that you do. And would you say that now we have like more awareness as far as women? There's more information out there. Back there, we didn't know. And women were very much afraid of weightlifting. And I think it's starting to change now. Would you say it's changing now, or it's been in the last 5-10 years?
It's been changing. I think the physical look of a female used to be a lot thinner and not with so much muscle mass. And so that has been shifting for a bit now. Where that's a more, you know, appealing look.
Yeah. What would you say? What kind of feedback do you? I mean, because you're clear muscle.
Well, it's true. I mean, I think like, you know, we're all genetically built different. So like some people might carry more muscle mass than others. But it is true. Like as we age, like, you know, our estrogen changes, our progesterone, our testosterone changes. So those are things that like, you know, are hard to control as we get older. But exercise and obviously eating well mimics a lot of those hormones. It helps increase metabolic rate. It helps do a lot of things that, you know, you're fighting with nature, you know, in regards. So, but I mean, I think it's important. I think, you know, long time ago, like HRT, like hormone replacement therapy, was like demonized, and now it's also really nice to see that that's changing and that's becoming something that I'm sure you guys know a lot more, but they're putting out a lot more studies that are showing all the health benefits to it, all the protective benefits to it, not just, you know, like cancer protective benefits, like dementia, Alzheimer's,
cardiovascular, mental.
So they, you know, they demonize it. So it's also the evolution of not just like what we will aspire to look like, but also that it's okay to want to feel like you're 20 again. Like, so you don't have to feel like I'm 45. I don't want to feel 45. I kind of feel 20.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, and I'm okay with taking, like I take testosterone, and, you know, I was very much like, no, I can't take testosterone because I'm already big and I don't want to get bigger. But, you know, when it comes
a little bit like a woman's dose.
Dosing of testosterone is, you know, I had this, you know, perception that it was like a men's dose.
Yes, and that was about 120. Yeah, the dose.
No, and so it's so minimal, but it makes you feel so much better. And so women need to like not feel like, you know, you can look at my labs and they look normal, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it makes me feel great.
Yeah.
So I still like want to feel like if I had a choice to feel 20 or feel my age, I would much prefer feeling 20.
People will bring in their labs and they'll be normal, like Holly said. I'm like, these are normal for your age, yes, but it's not the levels at which you're going to feel optimal.
Right. That's right.
And so.
And it's true. You want to feel better, and it does make a difference. And what was in the last couple of days, I was texting it to everybody. The Health and Human Services, the FDA removed it up with the blacklist, HRT.
The black box.
The black box warnings, meaning that it is safe for certain women. Obviously, always consulting with your doctor. Everybody, before you do hormone replacement, anything, you always consult with a physician. Because you do blood work, you start, and I think it's so important. I'm on HRT as well. And I noticed the difference. I was off of it for a while, and I didn't realize how I was like, and the minute I got back, just a teeny tiny bit of testosterone. Man, sleeping, which I'm able to exercise, it's crazy.
And it's funny because when you talk with your friends and your friends that are your age, and before, it was always like, oh, I'm not the only one that feels this way. She feels this way. She feels this way. You know, you have the same symptoms, and you're like, okay, well, it's refreshing that you're not the only one, but then now that you're like taking care of it, now you're telling those same friends like, I feel so much better.
And they want to
better.
feel like
And like,
You're happier.
yeah. So now the discussions changed to not like we're all 45. Let's all feel like this. This is life, you know.
Feel old and I'm tired about the TV though.
I mean, I didn't even want, don't everyone, no one look at me or touch me, or it's crazy. It's crazy.
This is always common. It's causing a marital marriage problem.
Yeah. And so what do you tell them? Be a good actress. That's funny. They don't be away from beauty. Be a good actress. No, I mean, it's hard because you're hard, you're hot, and you're emotional, and it's an interesting time of life. It's a beautiful time of life because we go into a new phase, I think, more confident, more secure. Depends how you look at it. But the physical changes that you go through, if you can manage them.
And they say, like, there's a lot of, like, psychologists and psychiatrists that talk about, like, women going through perimenopause and menopause. It's, like, the absolute most difficult time in their marriage.
for sure. I think that's why a lot of divorces happen.
Like, do not understand it. And so, yeah.
Until they get an andropause.
I'm like, that do there.
Men start andropause in their 40s as well? 50s.
I mean, depends. Later. Yeah.
A little bit later. It's interesting.
Nice too, you know.
And aren't you glad we have the knowledge that we have now? Because years ago, 50 years ago, 60 years ago, 100 years ago, women just went crazy at 40. That they thought you were crazy. And
Between getting pregnant every 9 months
And then menopause at 30 or whatever they want us to go into.
and we're able to talk about this as well. And now understanding how exercise is so important. I think Mother Nature's antidepressant. For sure. If you go outside and you get some sunshine, you feel happy. After a workout,
That's what I saw you there. I'm like, how can you take a walk and not feel good?
you feel good. You just feel good. After you play tennis, whatever you do, don't you feel good? You feel good. You're fighting.
You know, somebody.
Well, I know. That's probably why I had to stop playing. No, but you feel good.
But as we're aging farther into the 80s, 90s, 100s, like Holly said, you want to be functional. You just don't want to be aging just to age. So that's an important component to that is the exercise, the mobility, the functionality as we get into those later years.
the balance. Especially in athletes. I mean, if they don't have muscles, I mean, they fall right and left. And then, it's just a problem.
Would you say that it also happens? Do you see some of your patients or people that that like you hit 40 and okay, well, I can no longer do this, or I shouldn't exercise, or
40 is new 30.
oh yeah, where people are. So do you find that people are less afraid of it now?
Yeah,
I think so.
exercise now is more like it's like a medicine.
Yeah.
Like if you go to a doctor, the first thing, do you exercise? Or
How often do you exercise? The basic things you always get asked. Do you exercise? How often? Do you drink? Do you smoke? Do you do drugs? What else? And then, of course, your
Regular med stuff.
All right. Basic exercises that you think everyone should be doing, just for common strength, so you feel good if you're at home and you're starting out.
I mean, squats. You could do body weight squats. I mean, burpees. Everyone's afraid of that, but there's so many different versions of it. There's like the most basic to the most advanced that can be so hard. And those are things you can do. Push-ups, you could do sit-ups, you could do toe tap. All these body weight movements you could do anywhere. You don't have to be in a gym. You could do it when you're traveling. You could do it at home. You could do it anywhere. Obviously, you would like to be somewhere where you can lift weights, and it takes a kettle. For a while, I was just using a kettlebell and finding different ways to work out with just a kettlebell. So you don't have to have the most expensive gym membership. You don't have to be at the most prestigious gym. You just need to you can pick up things in your house if you can't even have access to weights. But being able to lift, I think when you really get into it, I think deadlifting is probably one of the most important things. Like farmers carry, those are just, you can carry laundry, like detergent, and walk down and walk around your house. I mean, those are things that I think, again, tie into just the functionality as we age. Those are things that are going to really help increase that. But again, it's like if you fall down, burpees is interesting. People hate them.
Everyone hates them, but it is actually a way.
I think so. For your tummy,
Super complete. Is it really? Because I'm like, what is this complete?
I know, but that's a full bad knees.
But I mean, there's so many different like modifications of it. It literally teaches you how to get on the ground and get yourself back up. So you can teach an 85-year-old person how to get down slowly on the ground and how to get themselves back up. I mean, it's like such a basic movement, but again, you can modify it to be so basic for an 85-year-old, and you can put weight, and you could do it for someone who's extremely competitive or at a higher level of sport.
You know what we're seeing right now, and I was going to bring it up when you were talking about the farmers carry, and the advertisements are coming up on social media for me, the weighted vests and walking with the weighted vests. And now new information is coming out that it's so good for you for, what is it? What's it good for?
Yeah, I think low intensity cardio is what people are doing now. I mean, it's really, like you said, it's just about increasing your activity level, so where people are working 8 to 5 jobs and they're sitting a lot and they're not, now it's getting a little bit better where there's walking pads and people have standing desks. But in general, most of the population is sitting. Our kids are sitting in school all day long. They're not getting exercise. So, it's important like to move. So I think to add a weight vest to the walking, it will increase your heart rate quicker than if you were just to be walking. So, I mean, that's the idea. You can walk faster. If you don't want to walk faster, you can put a weight vest on. You're kind of mimicking the same thing. I guess there's a little bit of resistance. You're going to put a little bit of weight onto your body, which is going to force you to have to move a heavier load. But, I think it's just as effective if you were to walk up a hill and you don't need a weight vest. But it is the trend of the 40-year-old women. Everyone on TikTok is weight vest walking. Yeah.
Have you seen them? Yeah, walking.
When I tell the patients, they're like 300 pounds. I say, doctor, but, I cannot walk. I get tired. Yeah, I will get tired if I have a sack of rock that is
Another huge on your back.
That's right. Yeah. So, for them, it's like carrying a super vest.
Yeah, and it's hard.
And if they just walked, would you say someone like that who's 300 pounds, if they just walked every day, just moving, they'll lose it quickly?
Yeah, but little by little. I mean, they kind of
little by little, like you said, because their joints hurt and their feet hurt.
to hear because
They'll get hurt.
I used to run when I was younger, and I stopped it. And I mean, my running was for tennis, but walking, what do you think about walking as an exercise?
I think it's great. I think we've shifted, just like everything in our lives today. Like we've shifted from like sprinting and high interval things to just low intensity, because it prevents injuries with your joints and different things. That's why people are doing low intensity, but you still get the benefit. You probably have to do it longer for a longer duration of time. That's why people are walking for 30, 45 hour versus like if you were to do like interval training, there's different things that you get out of it. You could probably you can't do interval training at the same duration that you could do walking. So people choose to do those low intensity because it's better on their joints. It's better. It's easier. It's less injuries. There's different things, and you get the same benefit out of that. The Stairmaster is obviously like the bike, anything, rowing, biking, running, walking, jogging, anything that keeps you moving. Like you said, these people that are overweight, they're doing nothing. So if you get them walking 5 minutes every day, and then you increase it to 10 minutes, and you increase it to where they're walking for 10, 20, 30, that will improve their health because they're going from doing nothing to doing something. So it's important for all of us to do those things, to be as active as we can. And our kids, sadly, I don't even remember the statistic, but it's like 1 in 3 kids is going to be obese in America. I mean, it's... Yes. And part of that is so...
I was hearing the other day a press conference with RFK, and he said something like 60% of Americans are obese or overweight. It's over 50.
40. I had about 40. I'm
maybe 40. Maybe he said that 40. But he recently said, I'm going to look that up. But it's high. It's too high.
It's really
too high.
Compared with Europe?
Right. Mm-hmm. Compared, yes, with the rest of the world. Yeah. Why do you say that is? What do you guys think? Each one, all of you, give me your perspective.
I just think... as a whole, it's more cost producing to treat sick people than well. Mm-hmm. So I think all the fast food, pharma, all
the
that stuff.
Portions.
And portions are huge.
I mean, like Like when we're little, say, if you don't eat everything in your plate, you're gonna get sick. Now I tell the people, say, if you eat everything in your plate, you're gonna get sick.
Right, like take half to go. But I just think that in general, the culture is shifting from treating sickness to being well and focusing on that aspect of medicine versus treating the illness.
A holistic wellness approach. And we were talking, I was texting Genevieve about this. When did you guys get nutrition classes when you went to medical school? Because that's something our place advocate. They still don't.
No, I had to do a separate course.
How important is diet and exercise, or an exercise course in medical school?
Diet. You like or your own you did. Well, no, for diabetic education, low fat diet, low sodium diet. Like we have to get.
The basic, but I mean, the paradigm has shifted too from the old triangle to a more.
I mean, I launched the first GLP-1 when I was a pharmaceutical rep. It was called Victoza. It was like the very first one that ever came out. So, I mean, people are giving them a bad rap, saying there's not a lot of safety on it, and people don't know, they're so new and it's so novel, but they're not. Like they have been out for, I mean, this is almost 25 years ago that it has been out. So, it works the same way. They work on this. So it's not new. It works. There's people are eating more and moving less. Our kids are definitely eating more and moving less.
In gaming and TV.
And like an economic issue too. Like the majority of people cannot pay and afford to eat whole foods and like healthy foods. And it's easier for a family that makes less than $50,000, a family of 6, to go buy unhealthy food because it's cheaper for them to do that. And that's just unfortunately what America is right now. They don't have the means to be able to. And I mean, there are some that could be an excuse. There are ways you could do it, but it's just hard for working class people that don't make the income to support a large family and cooking every night healthy food.
Yeah.
Or they have the education on that.
I think that's more the thing. The education. They just got
You even see it in wealthy people.
diet's very unhealthy.
And like in the past, you will eat like a little bag of chips.
This little snack bag, and now they're like,
Yeah. And in Europe, I mean, they're eating pastas and they're eating
that
refined food.
most people think they're gonna come back gaining weight
they're
very up, and they don't.
exercising more. Yeah, I mean, they work more walking, and
And their food is not
portions are
processed.
short.
Yeah, and their food's more natural, and also they cook for the day. Like they'll go and get the tomatoes and the pasta and whatever.
they-
they're gonna eat
yeah,
that day,
very
and they
fresh.
cook. Very fresh. We're just more processed. It's crazy. And one of the things, I mean, especially that I hate to cook, but I'm liking it more. I'm finding ways, simple ways, no more than like 5 ingredients, 30 minutes. What can I make that's
You
easy?
don't even have to cook. I mean, there's things you can buy at the store that you still don't have to cook. I mean, I cook for my kids. I obviously eat very different from the rest of us, but I'm not cooking like a 5-star meal for myself. I'm eating pre-cooked grilled chicken and so it's not glamorous by any means, but that's the other problem that we have in America is food is our entertainment. Like you want to go eat with your friends. Like it's part of our social connection with people is let's go eat. And the food noise that people talk about.
I didn't think about that.
It is. Food is entertainment. Everywhere you go, you want to go eat.
In other countries as well, though.
Yeah. But I mean, it's different because, we have such. I'm sure there's 5-star Michelin restaurants.
Yeah, the portions, the quality, and the processed stuff. I mean, chips, and they were talking about that with the SNAP stuff that people. I mean, and I'm not trying to get political, but it's the chips and the sodas and the chips.
You have tortilla, you have cheese, you have bacon, other than things, you have cranberries.
Yeah.
I remember you told me just go get a salad and with a. I know how to make a homemade dressing. Anyway, this isn't about me, but this is about exercise. So, last piece of advice that you give anyone who watches this as far as exercise and how they need to do it, what they need to do it, parting words.
I just think that it's so important. Cardio used to be the mainstream to wellness, I guess, and now it's more weightlifting, and I think that's just the way that the shift is going for longevity.
Strength training, everyone should be doing. Holly?
I think we're all used to routines in some sort of aspect in our lives. And when you build a routine, and if you've committed yourself to, I'm going to go to the gym every day after I drop my kids off. I'm going to go to the gym every day after work. whatever that is, like it's no different than the other things you build in your life. You just have to commit to being consistent in that routine too. And I think whatever that is for you, whatever you enjoy or you're not intimidated by, like go. If you couldn't, like, what do they say, habits? You have to do something for 21
days to build it.
If you can commit yourself to 21 days to lifting weights and trying to eat healthier, 100% you will develop a habit that will be a lot healthier than before.
So shutting down.
Yeah, finding that consistency.
It's amazing. It is. It's the consistency and the habit. Maria Elena?
I mean, like Holly say, like 25, 30 minutes a day of weightlifting, productive weightlifting, not being on your phone. And then, cardio for me, not running necessarily, but a little bit of tennis every now and then, or some walking. It's also not just for your body, but
Mental health.
It makes you feel good. Doesn't it not? After work, you feel good. And when you feel good, it elevates it.
it should be done if you can first thing in the morning, because after work you come home and you're going to be like, nope.
I realize that first thing in the morning, if you can, even a walk, whatever it is.
I mean, it's not to be at 5 or 6, but in the morning before you go to work or before you engage your activities, because you get home and
Life happens like
pajama.
It's absolutely critical for aging and aging well and anti-aging, or aging better, aging well, so that you feel, I need to find a good way to say this, but just aging so you're not getting old, but you're aging in a good way. Anyway, thank you for joining us. Thank you, ladies. Great topic, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye.